From a little bit in the middle of it, but basically we're here today to celebrate the 60th wedding anniversary of Norm and Lenore. 60 years. In modern times, that's nearly unheard of. I think it's a testament to the longevity of the foundation they built and the long-lasting love and devotion between them. In order to understand, where they came from and why they have such a great foundation, I sort of wanted to get a little bit into the history of how it came to be. Norbert Thomas Cook and Mary Lenore LaRue had modest upbringings. Norb grew up on the north side of Minneapolis, back in a time when it was safe to drive through the town with your windows down. Lenore grew up in the town of Hamel on a farm that I believe is now a high school and maybe a housing development. Due to some unfortunate turns in life, Norb was tasked with helping his family, helping to provide for them from an early age. In order to make ends meet, he had to make money in whatever way he possibly could. That included selling newspapers, and as Grandma told me the other day, shoveling sidewalks. And one can only assume that having to work at such an early age instilled him with the great work ethic and the drive necessary to achieve his own financial independence throughout life. Lenore was a farm girl, and she still has the green thumb to prove it. If anybody's seen her gardens, they're beautiful. Over the years, I've heard many great stories about Grandma's days on the farm, but I think everybody's favorite is the time that she took the truck out for a spin when she was 12 years old with her sister Jeanette. That one might be shared later on today, so I'm not going to get into too much details. But yeah, she loved the farm. When the time came, Norb served our country and defended the free world in the Second World War. He was stationed in the Pacific and had one of the most dangerous positions in the entire Air Force. Fortunately, he survived without a scratch and made it back to stateside a true hero, armed with an arsenal of ambition and some great bedtime stories for his grandchildren. Yes. Upon arrival back to the States, Grandpa enrolled in college at the University of Minnesota, where he played baseball while completing his college degree. It was through baseball that he ultimately met Lenore, and it was through persistence that she finally let him go take her out on a date. After some time of courtship, they were married. This is a 3-pager, so that's the rule. Grandpa sold life insurance and made quite a living for himself. I would go into details of the individual deals and the perseverance involved with making it in the insurance industry, but I don't want to put everybody to sleep. While I can find humor in everyday things, I'm not a miracle worker. However, I do know firsthand that Grandpa must have been really good at his profession, because anybody that's been to his house has seen his trophy case. He's got a wealth of trophies corresponding to his various achievements. And he gave me some of these achievements. He was Salesman of the Year for his company, Bankers Life and Principal Financial Group, 13 times. That's pretty amazing. Salesman 13 times. He also served on the board and on, board of directors on several different organizations. Too many to list off right now, but one of them was he was the president of the Minneapolis Association of Life Insurance Underwriters. And then the last, he actually recently received the George Washington, founding father of modern life insurance sales, Lifetime Achievement Award. If that one sounds a little far-fetched, that's because I just made it up. I was trying to, go with the 4th of July theme here, and one day you will achieve that. You name it, and basically he's got a trophy for it. During his day, Norb was like the Arnold Palmer of insurance sales, or for the younger crowd, the Tiger Woods of his field. Insurance aside, when you look at his trophy case, you'll also notice that he was once the Tiger Woods of Minnesota golf. This guy has more trophies than I can count. There's so much bronze on his shelves that the only thing missing is a bronze statue of Norby himself. And I think I just gave you an idea for your Christmas present next year. Proving they were meant to be together, Grandma has amassed herself quite the number of trophies as well. In fact, rumor has it that she can beat Grandpa on the links nowadays. shoot their age on the golf course, which I find quite impressive. It would take me, I would need to be in the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest man in the world for that to happen. But the real trophies are their children, grandchildren, and now great-grandchildren. All 200 of us. Maybe not 200, but if you look around, there are quite a few descendants in the room today. That's what happens when you have 8 children. Nowadays, 8 children is nearly unheard of. But at their time, it was almost expected. Much credit is due to their strong Catholic upbringing, as well as the fact that this all took place before the widespread use of contraceptives. Catholicism also contributed to the naming of their 8 children, resulting in their children being named after miracles past. Constance, Francis, Richard, Teresa, Patricia, Paul, Robert, and Carol. It's like a who's who of sainthood. Those 8 children yielded 21 grandchildren and now 4 great-grandchildren, which is a remarkable feat in itself. Even more remarkable is how we've all grown up to be pretty well-adjusted adults. Being the oldest among the cousins, I had the pleasure of watching just about everybody else grow up in diapers. In fact, I really can't get over the thought of some of you outside of diapers, especially you, little Zachy. Grandma and Grandpa are so proud of their grandchildren, always touting our accomplishments to anyone who would lend an ear, and constantly impressing their friends with a seemingly never-ending string of 8 honor rolls and sports trophies. I didn't fully realize the extent of how much they talked about their grandkids until I was in 10th grade and entering my science class. As the teacher was reading off the roster of all the students in the class, he went through and made it through the alphabet pretty well. All of a sudden he gets to the S's, looks at my name on there and says, "Jeff Sauer. Hey, I know your grandparents." Awkward. I had no idea how to react to this. How did this guy know my grandparents? How did he know who I was if my last name wasn't Cook? Are people going to think that I'm a nerd because of this? There goes my chance at being the most popular kid in school. The last thing I want to do is be associated with being the kid whose grandparents knew the teacher. It didn't really ring a bell with me. So, it's like putting a gigantic kick me sign on my back for the rest of the year. Embarrassment aside, I was also curious as to how the heck this guy would know my name and how they knew Lenorby. Turns out that my teacher was a waiter at a Chinese restaurant called the Pagoda in White Bear Lake, which is where I went to high school. And my grandparents were his regular customers and had gone in there all the time to talk to him. And we all know how loyal they are to their Chinese food restaurants, so it's not hard to believe that. So they talked about my achievements apparently ever since I was in elementary school and talked to them all the time. And knowing that Grandma and Grandpa, I wasn't surprised by that at all. But what really surprised me is the fact that they knew who I was, even though I have a different last name than them. Those must have been some pretty in-depth conversations at the Pagoda. That's just a small example of how much Grandma and Grandpa love all their children and grandchildren and now great-grandchildren. And as you can see, it's obvious how much they love everybody that's surrounding them. Over the past 60 years, they have instilled this love into everyone around them, and they have served as a catalyst for all of our life's achievements. Like any long-term relationship, it takes work to run things smoothly on a day-to-day basis. I'm not going to lie and say that everything has been good every step along the way, but the good far outweighs the bad, and overall, the past 60 years have been great. I'm honored that I was given this opportunity to be the MC of the event. I love my grandparents with all my heart, and they've instilled so many good qualities in me that I think that I'm a better person as a result.